I am back with a new video on basic Windows optimization. With this video we will learn how to optimize Windows, and this is basically what you should do after every 3 to 4 months to optimize performance. To start we will reinstall Windows. Windows performance degrades over time, even Microsoft acknowledges this, so the lower end the PC, the more you will feel the performance drop. The first step to get better performance is to reinstall Windows. I recommend installing Windows 10 as it has been proven to give more performance than Windows 11. This is even more true for low-end devices. If your processor is released after 2020 and has 4 cores, install Windows 10 LTSC 2021. It is official Windows debloated version. I am sure not many people know about this LTSC version. If your processor is released after 2020 and has 6 or 8 cores, install stock Windows 10. If your processor is released between 2015 and 2020, install Windows LTSC 1809 version. I will give link in description. If you have 4-core processor released before 2020 or a 2-core processor, install Atlas OS Windows 10. I won't recommend Atlas OS cause they are heavily modified Windows versions and have numerous security vulnerabilities disabled, so it is a major security risk. Also, it doesn't necessarily give more performance for some PCs, so I would advise you guys to stay away from it. On mid-range/high-end PCs, Atlas OS won't give much performance uplift, but on low-end devices, it does fix lag, frame drops, and such, so choose wisely. I will not do a Windows reinstallation tutorial. There are many videos on YouTube for that, but let me warn you, reinstalling Windows does remove all your data, so back it up. Also, don't try to reset Windows, absolutely not. I won't recommend it. Only install Windows after a full disk wipe. You can do a dual boot, but it is at your own risk. It messes with the previous Windows bootloader settings, and sometimes accessing the previous Windows installation is not possible. So dual boot is also not recommended, especially Windows 10 and Windows 11. Now comes the other parts. Now that you have reinstalled Windows, make sure Windows is updated to the latest version. Also, don't forget to install the latest chipset drivers. These are very important for CPU performance. Now follow me. I have AMD processor, so I will install AMD chipset drivers. Search in Google for AMD chipset drivers. Go to their website and follow what I am doing. If you have Intel processor, search for Intel chipset drivers and do all the required stuff. Also download all the other software we are going to use. I will give you the links in description. Download it from there. For now, just me downloading it, just do you know how to do it if you get stuck. We are downloading NVClean Install, Radeon Software Slimmer and Display Driver Uninstaller. So, NVClean Install is for NVIDIA GPU and Radeon Slimmer for AMD GPU. I have both, so I will download both. You will choose accordingly. Our next step is to change the DNS configuration of your device. For this you will get this SnailYT lag fix file. Go to the taskbar. Go to the Wi-Fi icon. Right-click on it and open Network and Internet Settings. When it opens, click on Change Adapter Options window will open here. If you use Ethernet, right-click on Ethernet but I use Wi-Fi. Right-click on them and go to Properties. Then check Internet Protocol version 4 and copy the DNS server number from your file and paste it here. Do the same as me. Changing DNS will make your ping more stable. It also unblocks many websites sometimes and makes the internet more stable. Cloudflare is known as the fastest DNS. You can also try Google DNS, see which one is faster and is more stable and use that one. So now open Command Prompt as administrator. Here type ipconfig /flush DNS like me and click Enter. It will flush the DNS cache. And you can then restart your PC. Now you have successfully changed the DNS. Now we will disable some services. So open search bar and type System Configuration. Press Enter, go to the Services tab. Here click on Hide all Microsoft services. Uncheck the services that are not needed. Keep the NVIDIA display container that is important and also any Realtek or audio services, or else audio won't work. The things that are not needed like AMD Crash Defender service, Q emulator service, uncheck them. Now click on Apply and click on OK and then restart PC. So now you have downloaded all the software we need. Click Start Display Driver Installer. Here you will get this display driver installer. After you download, it will extract its files. I've extracted and kept it in this folder. Now click on Display Driver Uninstaller, go to Options and here make sure to keep the same settings as me for AMD drivers. Make sure to check all the options like I'm doing. Also check Advanced option, prevent downloads of drivers from Windows Update. Click on OK. Click on Done. Check for a final time that the settings are same. Click on OK. Disconnect Wi-Fi. Go to Windows Update. Turn off Windows Update by pausing it for 7 days. Now go to select GPU and select AMD or NVIDIA or Intel, whichever graphics you have. Then click on Clean and do not restart. I have NVIDIA Graphics and AMD Graphics both, so I'll uninstall both of them one by one. So, click on Clean and do not restart and wait for the process to complete. I have MSI Afterburner running, so it just closes them. It will uninstall the driver. Do this after every driver update so that your driver is installed properly, and you don't have any driver corruption issues or things like that. It will take some time. When it says cleanup completed, you can close it. If you have 2 GPUs, uninstall the other one too. Download Radeon Software Slimmer. Extract it. And start the Radeon Software Slimmer software. It will start something like this. And from here select your Radeon Graphics driver exe which you've downloaded. You can download the driver from AMD website. Now click on Next, and next it will extract the files, and here we are. Here you have just uncheck all the things I'm unchecking. This will debloat in graphics driver, which will increase your performance. Some things are not needed, like the AMD Radeon USB LED application. You don't need this, unless you use some specific stuff. Which, like I am using laptop, so I don't need Ryzen Master. Because I can't use, right? So, if you're using Ryzen Master, so make sure to check that. This streaming audio driver, these are for Radeon recording stuff. So, if you use Radeon software for recording, you do not need to uncheck that. I don't, I use OBS to record, so I will uncheck. Based on your needs you check or just select what I am selecting. Okay. So just copy mine. Okay, in display driver components 1, also copy my settings. Most of the things are not needed. Some of the things are not needed, like the AMD dynamic noise suppression. That is for if you use the AMD control panel recording and all suppression things. If you don't use them, then you can untick and it will debloat and install AMDs. Now click on Full Install and make sure to select Don't allow AMD to collect information so that it is fully debloated and nothing is running in the background collecting a private information. Run NVClean Install app that we downloaded before. When you run the app, you will get an option to select the driver version. I recommend the latest driver which is available. Driver version 555.85. It has been seen that this driver version gives good performance in game loop. Makes it smooth as I've seen in others also, so make sure to install this. Always try to install this and then try the latest version. OK, so now when you will start, select Show All Versions. Manually select the appropriate one. Make sure that you select the correctly, like for desktop. If you want to game only, select desktop. For if you have a desktop, or if you have a laptop, select notebook. Studio drivers are if you use NVIDIA GPU for video editing and such, then studio drivers who are better. Then click on Next. No need to select periodically check driver updates. Click on Next. Now click on Display Driver, and if you are using a HDMI, make sure to select HD audio via HDMI if your HDMI cable is connected directly to the NVIDIA GPUs. I have a laptop and my monitor is connected to my AMD iGPU, so this is not needed for me. And make sure to click this. Games need Visual C or else you get error sometimes. Also, if you have a laptop, then check Optimus, but if you have a desktop, then there is no need of Optimus. Also, if you have used USB-C port for display, then make sure to select this. I don't use a USB-C port for display, so I don't need it. This Frame View SDK is for measuring frame rates and such for the GeForce experience and all. But I don't want GeForce experience, it is very bloated. And decreases performance too much. If you debloat using NVClean Install, you will feel the difference in performance. I recommend only selecting Display Driver Optimus if you have Optimus or USB-C driver and the Visual C++. Only the Physics you can install, but most of the games don't need it nowadays. They have their own, so it doesn't matter. So just click on Next, it will download, so after. Let it download. Wait for some time. It takes time. But still it is better than installing just the normal NVIDIA driver from an NVIDIA website or from Windows Update. For now, debloating all this stuff makes Windows optimized. It is important as you will be able to unlock the full potential of your hardware. These are just basic optimizations that I'm doing. You should be doing all these every 3 to 4 months in a PC. As you have seen something like over time your PC performance degrade and you start feeling laggy and you have frame drops, lags, stutters and all kinds of stuff. So you should keep reinstalling Windows every 3 to 4 months. And also, reinstalling Windows removes all that corrupted Windows files and the cache was generated using it for you know how long. Reinstall Windows every 3 to 4 months, or at least then reinstall Windows twice in a year. So that your performance does not degrade. The basic stuff you should be knowing. Not many people tell this because you can't clickbait people into seeing your video if you tell them the harsh truth. So now come to installation tweaks. Disable installation telemetry advertising. Check that and do not check this. Sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it works. I won't recommend it. Now check perform a clean installation. Then enable message signal interrupt. This is very important. For most of the laptop out there this might be enabled by default, but if you have an NVIDIA GPU below 3000 series, the 2000 series or 1650, this might not be enabled. There's a very big chance that it is not. Sometimes it is disabled in the 40 or 30 series GPU. Enabling this. It sometimes for majority of people it reduces lag. Improves frame by 10 or 20. To make sure to enable, keep it at default. Both are default. Then you can apply this session limit patch. We don't need, so you can just uncheck and make sure to check the last two options. These are very important if you want to use the NVIDIA driver to play PC games and not get unnecessary bans. So, these were the things. Click on next, it will tweak the files. Wait for a bit, I'll take some time. You must just do these things like every 3 to 4 months once. I've already installed, so I'm not installing it again, but yeah, you do the install thing. Now for one more thing. Installed. I have also given the link for MSI mode utility. Open the MSI utility. OK. Right-click on it and on the MSI module utility and then click on Run as administrator. If you run it just like that one and it will give a register access error. And also when you open go to your GPU card and make sure that MSI is enabled. And on the right side it should be undefined. Just change the value between undefined and high and check for which you are getting better performance. Now if you get a black screen or stutters, if you're getting any type of graphical issues after enabling this, just uncheck the MSI button and click on Apply and restart your PC. MSI will be turned off and you will be using the old legacy interrupts, and you won't have any graphical issues that you are facing. But if you are not facing any issues, then this will give you a jump in performance. This was just a basic Windows optimization which you should be doing every 3 to 4 months. Yes, just to keep your Windows stable. But we can even do more optimizations on top of this. To unlock more performance on this, you can do even advanced Windows optimizations or hardware level optimizations also. It also depends upon the game you're playing. Most of my audience. For now, it's playing PUBG Mobile in Gameloop Emulator or bgmi in all other types of Android emulators. Most of my audience is basically using Android emulators. So for the scene of Android emulators is that emulators are not optimized as much as PC games. Reinstalling Windows fixes most of this errors, but also you can't expect a drastic improvement Android game performance. So let's end the video here. Make sure to like, share and subscribe. Also don't forget to comment if you need something or want to give me some suggestion. You can see that I answer almost all the comments and give hearts to others. So if you want a heart too, you can comment too.